edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering the Pattern 83 South African Defence Force Battle Vest. And this is an iconic piece of load-bearing equipment if there ever was. If you've watched movies like District 9, Blood Diamonds, anything to do with the African Bush Wars, you've seen this. Hell, I think it even made an appearance in the last Mad Max movie. This was a trendsetter at the time that it came out. 1983, there wasn't anything really like it. Maybe the closest thing was the Israeli LBV system, but it's not really the same thing. This vest is designed to hold a lot of equipment as a fighting load for the soldier. It's got a lot of features to help it do that. It holds a lot of magazines, 8 to 10 depending on how you pack it in. The South Africans came about to this style of vest in the progress of the Bush War as they switched from the FAL to the R4 and switched from Pattern 70 over to Pattern 83. This is a product over its time. We're going to go over the vest in detail and talk about the features of what made it innovative at its time and what kind of shows how time has passed it by here in 2023. All right, before us is laid out the Pattern 83 Battle Vest. We've got a lot to go over here, so let's get into it. All the pouches on the Battle Vest are sewn in place. This is a pre-Molly type set of equipment, and the pouches were placed, and once they were there, you had to live with them, and you didn't have much things to move around. So unlike, say, U.S. Alice gear or U.S. 1956 pattern gear, British 58 pattern, you had some modularity to how you could move your pouches around. No, this is kind of copying the Israeli system that came out a little bit before this, about a decade earlier, where they gave you a complete system with a bunch of pouches, but they were all in the places they were in, and there wasn't much you can do about it. So let's start. Here at the top of the vest, you have a double magazine pouch. As you can see here, I've got 2 R4 magazines in it. On the side, there's a little pouch here, probably for pen flares, things like that. There is an exact duplicate on the opposite side of the vest. Also, it has plenty of Velcro, so you take a magazine out, you still got plenty to slap down on it and not lose retention. However, I will note here that these R4 magazines, when you cinch them down, not much Velcro is grabbing on. This also shows how the vest is a product of its time. Notice the Velcro is all black. Now, South Africa didn't really have a camouflage pattern back then. They used nutria brown. So the vest is a nutria. But notice all its backing material is black, much like early tactical vests of the day. And all the Velcro is in black because basically back in the day, that's what you could get. Now, in the modern day, if somebody produces this vest right now, the vest would have the Velcro all matching the color. You could probably get it in every pattern you could think of. And it's basically, in the modern version, we basically modular, and we're going to go over that here towards the end of the video. Now, flanking each side of this upper magazine pouch, so we're already at 4 magazines, is a grenade pouch. And it's made for South African grenades, and the U.S. style grenade fits in there a little too snug, but it does fit. And you have an exact duplicate here on the other side. It's secured with Velcro. This would also be a great pouch to use for a field dressing or a compass. Perhaps even an IR strobe if you want. Moving down the vest, here on your left side front you have one large pouch. That's great for first aid. Matter of fact, I've got a U.S. style first aid pouch from that time period as well, 1980s. This is what the U.S. Marine Corps used. This pouch works just great for a first aid pouch like that. Moving a little more to the left, you have a combination pouch here. This is the water bottle pouch and an extra magazine pouch. As you can see, I've got 2 R4 magazines in there and plenty of Velcro to secure it. This is supposed to be a water bottle pouch, they call it. South African canteens are 2 quarts. And this probably would hold it. It's what it's designed for, so why wouldn't it? A U.S. 2-quart canteen is not going to fit in there, not even going to try. I do happen to have a finished canteen in there. This is secured by 2 sliding straps right here, so whatever you put in here is not quick access. Also, it has on top a Velcro opening that's small. You could probably put something like a field radio in there so the antenna and the microphone cord could come out. PRC 126, PRC 68 series comes to mind. They would probably most likely fit in here quite well. Going over to the other side of the vest, when you come down from the upper magazine pouches, which are duplicated from the left side, the right side you have two utility pouches that could double as magazine pouches if you wanted them to, but here I'm using them in this case. One has the equivalent of an M18 smoke grenade in it, specifically an EG Mil-X, and over here I've got a stun grenade in it. So those pouches work with that. They would absolutely function as magazine pouches. Also over here on the right side, another magazine pouch attached to the water bottle pouch. Again, that's designed for a South African 2-liter canteen, so you can have 4 liters of water on you at any one time. And right now in these pouches I have a Finnish and a US style 1-liter canteen. They both work fine, and there's more than enough room in there. Matter of fact, you could probably fit a lot of other things in here as well. And I know someone will ask, and yes, it'll run AR mags just fine. Also, before we transition over to checking out the back side of the pouch, how do you make adjustments? For your shoulders up here, you have webbing straps on each side too, so you've got redundancy there. And there's more than enough generous strap in there. So no matter how small you are or how large you are, this vest will have the adjustments for you. From the shortest guy to the tallest guy, this vest will work for them. It's also secured at the front here by 2 buckles, and they are completely adjustable as well. Okay, as we transition to the back of the vest, we have a lot going on here as well. There are 2 pouches that form your back panel, a lower pouch, zipper closed, and an upper pouch that is slightly larger, zipper closed, also though having a Velcro opening in it that items can come out, particularly again radio and or hydration systems. Now remember, this is early 1980s. Camelback hasn't been invented yet, so the idea of backpack mounted hydration is not a thing yet. This vest is adaptable and could be adapted to it. The smaller pouch here, these are both for general utility. I would say though, if these are full and you're using them for their intended purpose, carrying a rucksack with them is probably going to be very problematic. I have not had the opportunity to test that out yet, but it's kind of a thing that jumps right up. So if that's a thing for you, bear it in mind. Now we're going to have to get close up and talk about a lot of the adjustments that are back here. All right. Now at the back of the vest is where your main girth adjustments are. On the front, up at the top of your shoulders is where you adjust it for height. This is where you adjust for girth back here. On each side you have 4 buckles and a certain amount of strap that you can adjust. So this is pretty forgiving vest, which is a good thing. Fits the small guy, also fits the tall guy, the wide guy. Also, it's good that it has all this adjustment for change in seasons. Not so much of a thing down there in the bush, but elsewhere in the world where this could be used. You're putting on bulky winter coats, you're putting on body armor. This has the adjustment range in it where you could accommodate that if you still wanted to run this system. You have to get all 8 adjustments correct, and it does take some time, and then you would tape them down. The reason mine are not taped down just yet is because I haven't quite got the vest set where I want it. I'm getting close, but I'm not ready to tape just yet. In addition to the adjustment straps here, you have 3 straps that are free hanging up here on either side of the upper compartment. The purpose of those straps is to be able to strap down extra gear to your rig. That extra gear could be things like a rocket, extra antenna tubes, maybe an extra machine gun barrel, your bedroll, sleeping mat, anything like that you want to take along. Something that's just a little bit bigger you got to take with you but doesn't fit in any of the pouches that are elsewise available on this vest. Also, you have these loops right here. It's not Molly. Remember, this was invented in the early 80s. Molly hasn't been invented yet. But this allows you to lace other items on. You want to tie on your poncho liner, you want to tie on a poncho, things like that. That's a good example of what you could tie down with that. Alright, the inside of the vest has a lot going on as well, just like the outside, front and back do. Now, first thing, accessible from the outside, right through here, a little map pocket or thing you can stuff stuff in. Also another internal pocket. You could stuff some items in if you don't want to lose them. Tucks in right behind what I'm using as a first aid pouch. So you've got two kind of outer pockets here that you can store, say, like maps, instructions, SOI, anything small and flat that you want to keep handy. Additionally, this is your internal padding that forms the waist belt of the system. And as the adjustments that you have here, they integrate with the back, so that shows you the length of your adjustment. Also, obviously, with the straps that we had on the front, you can affect how much girth you have with that as well. So the vest in that respect is pretty versatile. Over here on the shoulder straps, you can see as you're adjusting, remember we had adjustments up here for height, you can see how much you have because it all slides up and down right here. Fairly well padded, so the vest is going to ride comfortably. Nothing to worry about there. Here's the back mesh panel of the two outer compartments in the rear. And the whole thing is made of some mesh, and it has padding around the waist as well as the shoulders. So it's a comfortable vest to wear. Now, with all the pouches sewed on and the fact that the webbing here, or the mesh, is a very tight mesh, this is going to be a hot vest to wear. This will make you sweat. All vests do. And the ones that say they don't aren't telling the truth. All right, I said that it was a vest that when it came out it was ahead of its time, and a vest that's time has passed. And here's basically your modern day equivalent of it. This is the British Osprey vest, designed to fit over armor, basically the same layout. You notice here I've got canteen pouches in the exact same place that the SADF vest has it. I have a medical pouch, roughly the same place, an ammo pouch, roughly the same place, grenade/compass pouch, roughly the same places. I've added on a radio pouch here and some pistol mag pouches for the way I normally use this vest. That's how it's configured, but you can see the layout is generally the same. Basically what the British did is took the SADF vest and made it MOLLE compatible, or as they call it, PALS. Do I think it's direct correlation? No, of course not. But I mean, it basically is the modern incantation. If you buy the British Osprey system, you're basically getting a pattern 83 vest that you have the ability to put what pouches you want where you want on it, where unlike the pattern 83 vest where everything's sewn in place and you have to make it work with what you've got. All right, so is the pattern 83 vest still viable? Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't it be? It was designed to run this weapon system. That's why I acquired it, for this weapon system. And it does what it's designed to do very well. The vest has stayed in service a very long time with the not only the SADF but the SANDF, its follow-on organization. So that tells you right there that it's good at what it does. It's designed for its environment. It's in the fact that it's designed to carry a lot of ammo, designed to carry a lot of water. If those are your parameters, yeah, sure, go for it. This vest is going to do it for you. If you're thinking this vest is for you, time to act is now. These vests are becoming rarer and rarer, and the price is going up. Searching various websites, I saw prices over $300 for these, which had made me reticent to jump on it. But recently I was at Varosteleka. They had this at a very reasonable price in the low 100s, and jumped right on it. Glad I did. The vest is in good and serviceable condition. There are some minor repairs on it, none that would affect the usability of the vest at all. If the pouches being in one place and one place only and immovable and somewhat dedicated to their purpose bothers you, then this is not going to be the vest for you. And I would suggest you look at, say, the British Osprey system if you're looking for a vest but has modularity to it. The SADF was ahead of their time when they came out with this. You look around in the early 1980s, there was no equivalent to this. Somewhat the Israeli LBE system, sort of the same concept of dedicated pouches holding lots of ammo and water, but all in one, all in specific places. Yeah, that was around. That was about it. And the vest has performed, as I said earlier. If you found this review helpful and informative, please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future gear reviews.